Okay, let's just get right into it. A huge war in the Middle East has shut off a fifth of the world's oil. Now, everything we were told said this should have completely wrecked the global economy, right? But look around. For most of us, things feel weirdly normal. Yeah, gas prices are high, but it's not exactly the end of the world we were promised. So what is going on? Were all the predictions just wrong? Well, to figure this out, we need to trace what actually happens, step by step, when a huge chunk of the world's oil supply just vanishes overnight. And the answer, as it turns out, is pretty unsettling.
Because that feeling of calm you have right now, it isn't real. It's an illusion. It doesn't matter where you are in the world, there's a massive economic tidal wave building just over the horizon. And once you understand why it's building, you're not going to be able to unsee it.
So what we're in right now actually has a name. It's called an oil shock. And get this, it's the biggest one in history. The best way to think about it is like a bomb that's gone off a long, long way away. You see the flash instantly, right? But the shock wave, the boom, that takes time to get to you. And that's where we are. We've seen the flash, but we're still waiting for the impact. So the big question is, why the delay?
Well, the first reason for this strange quiet period is just simple physics. It all comes down to how oil physically gets from a well somewhere in the Middle East all the way to the gas station down your street. And the reality is, our entire global energy system is unbelievably, almost comically, slow. Just think about the speed. An oil supertanker, this massive thing that's like 4 football fields long, it moves at about 15 knots. And that is, and I'm not joking here, that's literally the speed of a bicycle. Our entire modern world runs on an energy supply that putters along at the speed of a Schwinn.
So you see, when the war kicked off and the supply was cut, there were still weeks, even months of oil already on that long, slow bike ride across the ocean. We've basically been running on ghost oil. But as you can see here, the last of those shipments that left before the war, they're arriving right now. For a big part of the world, the new oil has already stopped coming. And in the places where the oil has stopped, the shock wave is already making landfall. We're talking widespread gas lines in countries like South Africa and Pakistan. Laos has started closing schools 1 day a week just to save on fuel. Sri Lanka is forcing everyone to take a day off work. This isn't some far-off prediction. This is happening right now in the places whose slow boat shipments have already run dry. Okay, but if the physical supply is already starting to disappear, why isn't the rest of the world, freaking out? Well, that gets us to the second reason for this weirdly calm moment. There are basically 2 man-made tricks being used right now to create this artificial lull, to hide the true scale of what's coming.
So on one side, you've got market psychology. Basically, traders who bet on what oil prices will be in the future are hearing all this political talk about the war ending soon, and it's making them less worried. And on the other side, you have governments pulling off a massive intervention, dumping hundreds of millions of barrels of oil from their emergency reserves onto the market.
Let's dig into that market psychology piece for a second. When a major political figure comes out and says something like a deal could be soon, the speculators, they listen. They start betting that prices will drop, so they sell oil futures for less. This creates a very real but totally artificial lid on today's prices, which makes the crisis seem way less urgent than it actually is.
And then there's the emergency oil. We're talking about the largest release from government stockpiles in history. It's like 200 super tankers just appeared out of thin air. But, and this is a huge but, it's not enough. As this chart makes pretty clear, the war wiped out about 20% of the world's supply. All this emergency oil, it's only replacing about half of what we lost. It's a band-aid for sure, but the wound is much, much deeper.
And this is the absolute key takeaway. Both of these things, the market bets and the emergency oil, they're temporary fixes. They're one-off tricks. You can only play that card once. They buy us a few weeks, maybe a month, but when the traders finally realize, hey, peace isn't breaking out tomorrow, and when those emergency barrels are gone, well, they're gone. And this whole artificial calm we're in, it's going to end, and it's not going to be settled. So what happens when the calm breaks, when that shock wave finally hits us? We're not just talking about paying more for gas. We're talking about something way more fundamental. It's a concept that economists have a pretty chilling name for: demand destruction. Demand destruction is what happens when a supply shock is just so massive that simply raising prices doesn't work anymore. It's when there physically isn't enough of something critical to go around, and when that happens, the parts of our economy that need it don't just pay more, they wither away. They permanently shut down. The activity just stops.
To really get your head around the scale of this, think about it like this. Imagine the world lost 2% of its food. Okay, prices would go up, things would be tough for a lot of people, but we'd basically survive. Now, imagine we lost 20% of our food. That's not a price problem anymore, is it? That is a fundamental crisis. There just isn't enough food. We've just lost 20% of our energy. And this is in theory. We're already seeing the beginnings of it. Airlines are just canceling flights because they can't get the fuel. Factories that make really important stuff, like computer chips, are shutting down. It's getting too expensive to ship things, so you're going to see fewer goods on the shelves. The stuff that makes fertilizer also comes from this region, which means food shortages. It's a domino effect, a whole cascade of failures that ultimately just means a lower standard of living for pretty much everyone. And here's the really tough pill to swallow. Even if the war magically ended tomorrow, this whole process of demand destruction is going to keep going. A lot of the region's energy infrastructure, the refineries, the ports, it's been destroyed. It's going to take years to rebuild, which means that 20% of the world's energy isn't just offline for a few weeks, it's gone for the foreseeable future. And all of this sets the stage for the next, even scarier phase of this crisis. See, right now, during the spring and summer, countries are supposed to be filling up their storage tanks, stockpiling fuel for the winter. Instead, they're draining those same reserves just to keep the lights on today. That means this coming winter is going to be a whole new level of shock, when billions of people go to turn on the heat and discover there just isn't enough fuel to go around.
So that normal feeling outside your window, it's a mirage. It's being held up by the slow pace of ships and a couple of short-term economic tricks. But those tricks are just about used up. The last of the pre-war oil is gone. This winter, the real shock begins. The world is about to find out what it really means to live with less. And the only question left is, what on earth does that look like?